Sick. Okay, so we've got some pretty awesome stuff going on with this whole depth of field thing, but we can actually do more, and we can actually get some lens flares and light leaks over the top of our subject to once again really get into this realism when making cinematic shots. So as a test, I want to get some bloom, some like dust on the lens, and some stuff like that, just to get light elements that are in front of our talent. So I'm going to go over to the post-process volume here, and I'm going to give this a dirt mask. I've actually upped this intensity to 200 because they're barely ever visible, but now it's a little bit visible. So we got a bit of dirt on there. You can actually type a number over the upper limit here. You can do this for a lot of parameters. A load of chromatic aberration, a load of bloom. I actually might up this a bit more, and I want lens flares as well. There you go. That's going to be nice. So that's some definite visible sort of light leakage going on. So let's save that out. And then to make this go over our composited talent, we actually need to kind of capture a layer of this light leakage. So to do that, we're actually going to grab the our video plane placement that we made, and we're going to go into this mesh component, and we're going to make sure it's visible. Make sure visible is ticked here. Then we can actually just change the material here. So what I'm going to do is pull up my alien folder, and remember we made this version of the alien that just takes the render target from Composure, this render target, and it just makes a very simple material based off of it. So this is the material as it stands at the moment. I'm actually just going to press 1 and click for a constant value of 0. And I'm going to add this into the base color instead. So now we've got a kind of light capture with its little bit of specular and this sort of thing. It's actually quite a good light capture. We're going to use what's called a screen blend mode to make it so that only the light goes over the top of our talent, or alien in this case. So we've got to make sure this material is added to this plane. I'm going to do that here. And now we can see that we've got a alien here that's just purely shadow information. Well, it's a shadow character that's picking up the light information. And as you can see, because if we get up our sequencer, this is still moving in time with everything. So that's really great. And let's just jump into our camera and see if we're getting a good amount of sort of light leakage. And yeah, that's looking pretty cool, right? So I'm just going to make it a little bit more extreme just so this example is really clear. So add a disgusting amount of bloom onto this. Yeah, that's cool. So now for the composure part, we need to tell our kind of comp that we want this to be captured. So if we look down our comp now, we can see some visible edges around here, which isn't very good. It just kind of makes our key look a bit worse. So what we can do, we can actually tell this first CG layer to not pick up this. We can do that by adding it to a layer set here. With it selected, we can go add selected actors to layer. And I'll call this like light mask or something. And here we're going to go and scroll down to capture settings. Go down to composure inputs and do a capture actors. And we're going to do an exclude light mask. Yeah, that's cool. And now we want to make another CG capture. So you can go right click, add layer element, our CG element, select, and we'll leave this one as is. So this has got our nice shadow information here that we're going to overlay. So now in our comp, what do we need to do? We can tell the transform pass that we want this shadow information over the top. So double click to go into the transform pass. And we want to be affecting our media plate. So let's drag this back a little bit. What we can do from here is type out and type screen. And let's copy and paste. And go F2 to rename this light mask. I'll line up the RGBA into this. And this into this. So let's go back here and make sure our light mask is selected. And now you can see we have some light information over the top of our alien here. So the edges around here are because this alien is not as blurred as the backing layer here, but we can take the alpha from our media plate and put that into this alpha, and that just means that the hard mask from here is masking here. So now we can see that we are getting some light information, but those edges are just not so bad. So if we give this a render out, the addition of the depth of field should really make this shot quite cool. So in our sequencer, let's just go here, gonna add a new test5 folder and give this a render local. So check it out as it's rendering. Immediately you can see that we've got even more awesome integration of our footage into the scene because we got light leaks coming over the top of our talent. So especially for this kind of really blurry alien shot, you want that light leaking over to show there's a really bright light behind them. You can see even as it's a bit more in focus, it's actually helping the kind of crappy key as well, just by blending those edges with a bit of light leakage. Here, and here we can see the full-time result. Yeah, you can see all of these visual elements just really tie all the footage together, and it's just becoming less and less clear that this is even a flat plane in the 3D space.